So, Linda, reflecting on the work you have done with the Horncastle Over 50s Youth Club, when and how did you become involved within the group?
Well, we started the group, as you know, but I became involved with TED via a friend of mine in Laos, who was one of the first ones starting the Laos group. And she told me about it, and I thought, well, I'm interested in that. And I was introduced to Linda, which was the previous one of your roles, and it snowballed from there. We used to meet on a regular basis before the group got going, and that's when I was introduced to Julie. So Julie and I knew each other first before Jean joined us. And it was put that they wanted us to start the group. So Julie and I and everybody, we worked hard in getting it, finding the venue and getting everything together. And we had our launch on the 7th of May 2 years ago.
Fantastic.
It'll be the 30th of May this year. Hopefully, if we're still here.
You will be, don't you worry. And how has the group grown and developed over time?
Oh, it's grown tremendously, but by word of mouth. That's what it's been. People have said how good it's been, how they've enjoyed it. And mind you, we've had those that haven't enjoyed it. Yeah, we've got on word of mouth. People have been brought in.
So you've mentioned word of mouth, but what else has made the group a bit more successful, considering sort of the work that you all put in as volunteers?
Well, both Julie and myself and Jean, we worked tirelessly behind the scenes, and people just come on a Wednesday and think, oh, yeah, they're here doing this. They don't realise the hours that we put in during the week to make sure that 2 hours with them is a success. And it's things they're going to enjoy. Hopefully, things they're going to teach them different things. To bring people in to talk to them, to advise, and also fun.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely shows the work you guys put in. So can you give me any information on how you've sort of stayed connected with the members of the group during COVID, and obviously all of the sort of obstacles you faced within that, and how that has affected the group, but sort of the positive side of it as well?
It's affected the group tremendously, because we stopped the group before lockdown was actually put in place. And we've kept in touch with them, by the three of us have tirelessly been ringing people, making sure they're okay. Mainly that's Jean and Julie. I've done a little bit, but I've tried to motivate the volunteers so that they don't disappear when we get a chance to go back. It was more important to me that I kept on side with them.
Yeah, so
we have met them though. In the summer it was lovely. Jean with her garden, bless her, she gave the garden over and had a big tent. And we went, three of us collecting people one by one in our cars, socially distances to Jean's house, and the garden, social distancing, for coffee and a natter. And the older ladies that we took there, because they were suffering anxiety with being on their own, they thought it was wonderful to be able to actually see their friends, even if they couldn't touch them. But they did, because they were that age. And why were we to stop them?
Yeah, you've been a real lifeline to those more isolated members of the group, haven't you? You've really looked after them during this time.
We've tried to. I mean, when that's all finished, because unfortunately we had all those gales and the tent blew down, so that put paid for that. So then we went to met up at the garden centre here, and they were sat on one table, we sat away from them. So we had the rule of 6 in place. So we were okay on that. And yeah, it's been mainly that, but yes, I've seen people around in the town occasionally that I've known have been our members, that we haven't had the numbers to ring them. And so yeah, I do keep in touch as much as we can.
And that's pretty much been over the phone. They've not been able to access things like Zoom and that, have they?
They're not at the age group, unfortunately, but we have tried to do that once. We did have digital links. In the moment we are applying, you might not know about this, to the co-op. We've come under another heading of those. We're asking them for a computer, if possible, or a laptop, and then want to get digital links back in and to show the benefits of the internet, and hopefully try to get them interested. So if anything like this ever happens again, they can keep in touch with their friends. At least they can see them, if only on a phone, do a FaceTime, teach them what's there, so that they're not just on their own.
That's fantastic. And as you mentioned, Links Digital have during the period they did put together sort of how-to guide for those people that we support on how to access it. But again, I think the work you guys do, because they know you and they trust you and they're comfortable with you, I think you will have more of an impact of getting them sort of comfortable with using the internet and getting online than necessarily our organisation might do from sort of a step removed, if you like. So that's really good.
For them anyway, they have a problem and they know our telephone numbers. They're going to have to ring us.
Yeah.
That may be something you shouldn't do, but I'm afraid I don't believe in that.
No. I think the duty of care comes with the role, doesn't it? And running the group. So that's fantastic. And how has the friendship officer role from TED helped and potentially supported the group in positive ways and in a way that the group can continue? How is
very much so. It's nice to know that we've had TED as a backing, because without TED we wouldn't have existed. So I have TED to thank that for very much. They have supported us with visits, which has been good, and if we've needed things finding out, they've been able to do that for us. I mean, they did a tremendous, helped us monetary-wise with providing different activities other than for the members. There was one particular one for us when 2 little horses were brought around. And I know that that wasn't for anybody else, just for us volunteers. And that was so important. Yeah,
we really wanted to put a smile on your face during those difficult times. And I'm really glad that went well. And as me personally, who actually done the visits with the ponies, it was the most heartwarming day, I think, of being a friendship officer for me. I think just being able to see how much it uplifted everyone during that, really, because it was really strange, and it's not been a great time for everyone, hasn't it? So I'm glad that went down really well. I'm really glad.
Extremely well.
Good.
Yeah, very well.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
And it's nice to know that TED is always there if you do need them, if you can get them. It's nice to know they're at the end of the phone, or you can send them an email and they will come back to you, hopefully with a solution. If not, they will try and find a solution and then come back and tell you this is what it is. So we know we've got the backing. Brilliant. Which we won't all have, but I have to say we are strong enough as a group that we can diversify from TED if necessary. And I know that was TED's, trying to think of the right word for it. That was your objective, wasn't it?
Yeah, that is our objective. It's to make the groups that we've created, to make them sustainable.
Yes, so, that's what it was.
Because as you work in the third sector, you know, funding comes and goes and isn't always available. So from the offset, we wanted to make sure that once the funding ran out for TED, that we were then able, the groups that we had created and the support networks, and as you said, as you just highlighted with during COVID and sort of the way you've been keeping in contact with all of the members and everything and supporting them throughout, we wanted to make sure that was still able to continue without us being present. So I think you guys, I mean, the group speaks for itself of its success and how fantastic it's been. So credit to you ladies for creating it what it was, because you've done fantastic. And if it wasn't for people like you in the community, you wouldn't be, it wouldn't be what it is. So it's amazing work you've done. So
it's a wonderful group, but we get a heck of a lot back from them. To see their face when they come through the door. And I can tell if they're not right, and they say they are, and I know damn well they're not. And we go and find out. They're very good that they trust. I have a lot of trust given to me from our members, which is wonderful.